How's things, Joe? Delighted to be joined with you here at Croke Park. A little bit different than when there's 80,000 people here.
Yeah, it's a small bit different when there's only a couple of us here, but yeah, it's cool to be back. The pitch actually looks in great shape, so yeah, it's nice to be back.
Does it bring fond memories back? I know you're here quite a bit, obviously working here as a pundit and that now, but does it bring some of those fond memories back of being out there on the pitch?
Yeah, it probably does. Like every time you come in, you're kind of like thinking of days gone past and stuff like that. But it was funny enough, I was here last year, was it semi-final, Limerick Galway, and like fine parking outside was a nightmare. Normally you'd be coming in the bus and stuff like that and you'd be right in, but I left it a little bit too late.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about any of that normally.
Half an hour away walk, so it was grand, but it's just a small bit different in getting used to those kind of days that you're driving up now instead of getting the bus and stuff.
Yeah, it's a complete different perspective sitting in the stands, obviously when you're working, but when you're here as a fan to when you were out there on the pitch, did you realise the extent of it all?
I probably did, in a way that, like, I've a large family, so I would have been aware of all their planning to see who was going with who and to get up and enjoy the day and where they were going to park or where they were going to stay and stuff. So yeah, it's a cool day to be a supporter. But it's a little bit different when you're kind of used to playing and then you become a supporter and then you hear all the other supporters saying what, you know, the bad and the good. It's a bit strange, like when you're out there obviously and 80,000 people are screaming, you don't hear much, but you just hear noise. But when you're actually in the stand, you can hear what every expert, I suppose, is saying. So it's a little bit funny like that, but yeah, it's good to see that side of things.
Yeah, you're hearing all the experts around you. You wouldn't have heard that when you're on the pitch, but you do now. And even as like a pundit, how do you find that side of things? Have you got any players or teams or managers texting you saying, Jesus Joe, why did you say that about us?
No, not yet. They're probably the other way. They're probably not saying anything to me. They're probably less like they're not texting me or ringing me anymore. I'm kind of not ringing them either, because obviously when you go into the punditry side of things, I don't know if I feel that I don't want to put them under pressure to ask them, oh, how's things going, especially the Galway lads that I'd be friendly with.
They think you're fishing a little bit.
Maybe. Well, they probably don't, but it's probably in the back of their mind going, I can't tell them everything. And I respect that, because I'd be the exact same if I was a player still. And whatever, even Ollie, when he was with the guys in Sky, like, you'd be telling him nothing, like, you know, in case he'd say anything on the TV and then, oh, where did he get that, I wonder. But no, it's fine. I don't mind it too much. Like, I'll try and give as honest opinion as I can, and if not everybody's going to agree with it, and especially depending on which county I'm saying it about, they won't agree or disagree with it. So yeah, I'll enjoy it and just give an honest opinion, and hopefully it's okay.
And overall, how are you finding it?
Yeah, good. Like, it keeps me, I'd be at the games anyway.
Yeah. So
it keeps me busy and involved still. So I enjoy it. Yeah, it's long days, I suppose, as you know yourself, but it's enjoyable, and you get to, I suppose, talk about something you love. So yeah, it's really good at the moment. And
you're still around the game. Was that something you always thought you might get into when you were playing, that you might go on to punditry, or you didn't even think that way?
No. As like most people, I suppose journalists and people I wouldn't have had the best relationship with them, to be honest. You probably heard or something, I don't know. But no, I wouldn't have gone back to probably past relationships and past interviews that probably I wouldn't have thought was fair or whatever, and interpreted differently. I would have become more guarded around giving interviews and stuff, especially when I was playing. But I suppose when you're out of playing, you don't become as paranoid in a way as such, and you're not afraid to just talk what you think. I think you're more guarded when you're playing, and you're not giving away, not that it's any secrets or anything like that, but you're just afraid of what might be interpreted or what might be taken up wrong, or a headline might be said. So yeah, for sure it's much more easygoing, I suppose, now. But definitely when I retired first, I didn't think I'd be getting into any punditry or anything like that, or even coaching. And like, I'm involved with the Galway Miners now, coaching as well, and so those kind of things keep me involved the whole time. Yeah.
And what was it about the media that you kept your guard up? You obviously had an experience that sort of made you say, okay, I'm not speaking to them as much anymore?
Yeah, completely. Like back in 2012, the whole Henry Shefflin thing, that was it basically. I actually met that journalist that went to bit to town on me the other day. It was golfing in Lahinch and he was there, but we didn't say hello or anything. No. Well, I only saw him in the distance, but he's retired now. But so like how that was kind of interpreted and stuff like that kind of annoyed me at the time, and that's how I became more guarded with what I said or how I said it. And it was a good learning curve for me. I was young at the time, and it was a very good learning curve for me. So that was basically it.
And how did that affect you then in terms of even around the team? I know they weren't happy at the time when it all came out. So how did it affect you around them and how your relationship with them? Like
nobody ever said it to me, but I probably felt it because obviously we lost the All Ireland a week or two later, and that was probably, my comments were probably given as an excuse for us losing the All Ireland, if you know what I mean.
Would you think that's fair?
If I was in their shoes, I'd probably say maybe. You'd be looking at that and not to point a finger at yourself, kind of a thing. Realistically, no. Like, I remember I hit a ball and I hit the butt of the post, and it rebounded out. And Kenny went down and got a goal the other end, and like if we got that, we would have been 2 points up, and who knows, we could have won the game. So if we won the game, my comments wouldn't have mattered a bit, but because we lost, I think things are blown up even more. And yeah, that's fair enough. Listen, people look for reasons the whole time, and that was the easiest reason to give. So I understand that kind of side of things, but it didn't really affect me after that, or with any of the guys or anything like that. I don't think it did anyway. But yeah, it was a good learning, I suppose.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And even looking at social media side of things as well, how did you find all of that when you were playing? Did you keep your Twitter and things like that? Were you looking at comments? Yeah. But I would have probably not commented on a lot of stuff that was directed at me or whatever. When I started out, social media was only kind of starting to get going. So it probably got worse as the years went on. But that's I suppose people have this freedom of speech now on social media, so you can be either on it or not on it, and if you're not on it, you feel like, geez, am I living the same life as everybody else, or am I kind of... But it didn't bother me. I had a thick enough skin that I learned lessons throughout my early career that probably stood to me, and I took it with a pinch of salt, do you know, that kind of way. So things that were probably said to me, if they were said to somebody else, they probably would have taken them up. But there was lots of good things, obviously, as well. So, you know, 100 good things, one bad thing probably outweighs them. But that's the one you think about.
Yeah, exactly. But that's part and parcel of life. That's the human brain. But no, I kind of generally got on, and I used it as motivation more so than that. Like, I always wanted to prove people wrong more so than, and had a chip on my shoulder a lot of the time, be that good or bad. I don't know, it kind of worked for me. Other people would say, Jesus, you're putting yourself under, don't be thinking about that sort of stuff, it's not good for you. But at the same time, that's what worked for me, and you know, I wouldn't tell anybody else to do that or not do it. It's totally individualistic, you know. So
did you feel a pressure when you played it all? Like, obviously you were this household name within hurling, and everyone said, you know, Joe Canning has to have this many All-Irelands, you should, you know, have this many All-Irelands. You obviously have your All-Ireland, but did you feel a pressure to play a certain way, to win certain titles?
There was always a pressure, 100%. To win certain titles or play a certain way. I always said that, like, if I never won All-Ireland, it wouldn't define me as a sports person, and it shouldn't, because we play a team sport. It's not an individual sport. It's not just me. You're relying on 14 other guys to help you win. So there's much more than just an individual. But yes, I heard all that individual stuff, about like if he never won All Ireland, he's a failure or whatever. And that's said about lots of guys, and it's complete rubbish, really.
Yeah.
Because as I said, you need the other guys to help you. If I was playing tennis and I didn't win something, then yeah, I'd be a failure, do you know, because you're on your own in the court. But yeah, there was always pressure, but I embraced it probably when I was younger, because you've probably a different mindset when you're young. You're coming into the scene, it's your dream, you think it's going to last forever, and then when you get to your later years, when you're coming close to 30, it's becoming more and more less of, I suppose, possibility or an opportunity to win something.
Yeah.
So yeah, did that play in my mind? Probably did. Yeah. At times, like you're thinking, Jesus, it'll never happen.
Yeah.
And that's your dream when you're a kid. You want to win All Irelands, and you think you're going to win 10 All Irelands when you're a kid out in the farm or whatever. But reality is, obviously, unless you're Henry or whoever from Kilkenny, you're not going to do that. But yeah, I embraced it, and sometimes when I got older, it probably weighed heavy on me, in a bad way at times. Probably in the middle of my career, around like 13, 14, 15, that was probably the hardest times for me. And then when Micheál probably came in, it probably gave me a new lease of life, probably going out to field a bit more and stuff, and I just enjoyed that a bit more. It gave me a bit more freedom to not be, let's say, full forward and just staying there the whole time. So yeah, a little bit of change like that probably reinvigorated me in a way. Yeah.
What was it that in those years that really got to you? Was it the pressure that we talked about? Was it, I know there was injuries at that point as well. I think your hand, you were getting injections up 4 games. Was it all that, or was it I need to win, we need to be successful?
There was a bit of both. There was a mixture of everything, right? Like going from getting to the All Ireland 12, losing it, then the expectancy of getting back there again, having a bad, probably, I think we lost the quarter final in 13 to Clare. 14 we lost early after replay to Kilkenny and Leinster. 15 then obviously got to the All Ireland, lost that, and then the whole Anthony thing. So there was a mixture of a lot of things. So I was captain at the time in 14, just for a year. I was living in Dublin, actually working in Dublin for 2 years that time, so the travel as well up and down wasn't the best. So a whole mixture of things, but just found the expectancy was probably taken captain.
And that was taken away?
Yeah, it was taken away, but the problem, like, that's not a big deal either, probably rightly so, because when you're captain you're probably trying to do too much instead of like just play hurling, and being in Dublin, it probably didn't suit me because I wasn't around too often. Yeah. As in day to day, I was around for every training and stuff and every match, but like it's just general things of meeting guys for a coffee or something or whatever. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember like chatting to my parents about it back in, I think 15. I was like, it was nearly like I'm not enjoying it anymore in a way. Like, and
seems like it was everything but the hurling.
Yeah.
Everything around it.
Yeah, everything around it. And then it just changed when kind of Micheál came in and just gave us a new lease of life, and it just kind of got us back a little bit. And I kind of went out kind of wing forward, centre forward, and just more of a freedom kind of a role. Yeah, that was kind of what changed then, like, yeah.
And when you made the decision then to retire, were you at peace with that decision at the time? Yeah, like I would have retired in 2020, COVID year, if we won the All Ireland. We lost to Limerick here in the semi-final. Like that's your dream. You think, oh geez, we'll win the All Ireland now, just go out on a high. Yeah. And it doesn't happen. No. It's like not for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I suppose Brian O'Driscoll got his swan song, Ron O'Gara didn't, you know, that kind of way. Even though you dream of these things, and I just didn't want to go out in that because we lost that game. I ended up in hospital, and then I wasn't, like I just said, right, we'll give it one more. So I knew going into that year that it was probably going to be my last year, nobody else knew about it. Met Dad straight after the game and just said that's it, and he was on the phone to Mum actually, and I said it to Mum and they were like, well, what are you on about? Do you know?
Oh really?
Yeah,
they were surprised?
They were like, well, what are you talking about? We were just after losing to Waterford. So they got a surprise, and I don't think they fully believed it until I chatted them later on that night, which I just told the boys after in the dressing room. I think we went back through Limerick that night, and I think 15 of the boys stayed in the house that same night in Limerick. So yeah, it was, and that was it. But I was happy enough and content with that was my kind of career done and dusted, because a person said to me before, you can always go out to, or you can never go out too late, but you can always go out too early, basically. That don't stay around too long and just be there in your reputation.
I think that's a big thing for players to not do that.
And so, like, some players don't realise it, and I was probably getting to the stage, I probably am a little bit here, like picking up a load of injuries, not training as much, and our lads thinking I'm kind of on the physio table a bit too much or whatever, or what's wrong, why isn't he training, why isn't he here the whole time. So that was kind of a thing that I didn't want creeping in, because I've seen in teams gone past guys like that just couldn't let go, and you're like, Jesus, just let go, like, or you'll get dropped. And that was the last thing I wanted.
You don't want
get
that.
Dropped. That you don't realise it yourself. So yeah, that was part of it as well. Yeah.
And when you look back now, what is the main thing that you miss about it? If you miss anything.
No, I do. Like, I'd love to be still playing, no doubt about it. Like, mentally, 100%, I'd love to be still playing. But obviously, physically, no. So the biggest thing, probably just the crack, like the training, the matches, the big days, everything that you geared yourself up for. Like this week, love to be thinking about playing Wexford at the weekend in Pearse Stadium with hopefully a packed house and a sunny day in Salt Hill, even though there's probably going to be wind gusting down the pitch.
It's Galway.
Like, so like you'd miss that, no doubt about it, you'd miss that. But at the same time, I've had my course, I suppose, and I've other things now. Like, I'm still playing club, still with the minors, doing the punditry, playing as much golf as I can play. Yeah, so it's good.
You're doing pretty good in the golf, aren't you?
I don't know about that.
What's your handicap?
What is it, 3.6 now?
Oh jeez,
yeah,
he says casually.
Yeah, so I'm getting it down, but I just want to do as good as I can on it, to be honest. It's a thing that I enjoy, and it's, I enjoy it, yeah. And
just on the game at the moment, it's evolved quite a lot. We're seeing these massive score lines, the skill is just getting higher and higher, the level each year. Do you think it's in a good place at the minute? Obviously skill level it is, but in the excitement around the championship, do you think it's in a good place?
Excitement around championship, I think there can be more done marketing wise from everybody about GA to promote it more and get it more exciting. I look at the Six Nations, the rugby, like that's all you hear, and that's all you will hear at the end of the year with the Rugby World Cup as well. So I think it's a big year for GA to try and push more to the split season kind of thing. Does it help with the marketing of the bigger games, sold out Croke Parks and stuff? Probably not, but obviously we have to try something for the club game as well. Do I think the game is in a good place? I do. I think we've probably the best athletes, most skillful hurlers that we've ever had. Will it get better? Yeah, I think it will. If you asked me 10 years ago, would it get better? You'd be hopeful, but like, you just don't know what's going down the line, and that's the exciting thing as well. But I think it's really good if you can create a buzz around GAA, around hurling especially, then it's you could have a really good championship. Like, to look forward to going to a game or play a game at the weekend is what it's all about. I think the more you can build an occasion around it, I think the more kids will enjoy it, the more parents will get nagged to bring their kids to games, and they're the future generation. I think that's where you need to kind of target and get people going to games. So I think it is in a good place. Like, I can't wait to watch all the games. Just as a supporter, like, no matter what, like, I can't wait to watch whoever it is, Galway, Wexford at the weekend, obviously from a personal point of view, but like Limerick, Waterford. I'm really looking forward to seeing what game plan Fitzy has for the weekend. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. Can Limerick be stopped? They feel like they actually have upped it.
Like, but in one sense, that's probably the most dangerous place in a while they've been. So if you're a Limerick sport, like, I live in Limerick now, and all I'm hearing is we're going to do 5-6 in a row, you know, from a supporter's point of view. And if you're listening to that around Limerick as a player or as management, that's a really dangerous place to be. So they're at the top, obviously, and rightly so, no doubt about it. They're the best team that there is there at the moment. But with that comes a fine line between listening to that you're the best and then having a cause to be the best ever, if you know what I mean. So every other team, let's say Waterford, they've no issue going to Thurles or Sunday and putting in a performance and having a chip on their shoulder and going, we're going to take these guys out. Whereas Limerick, my one fear for Limerick is where they're going to find their cause, if you know what I mean. It's a lot easier when you're trying to scale up to the height rather than stay at the height. So if they can find that cause, they won't be stopped. But it's brilliant for every other county because you're trying to get there, and that's the challenge for the Waterfords, the Tips, the Galways, the Kilkennys, to try and stop them this year. And hopefully I'm sick and tired of listening to it in Limerick, to be honest. But
people get very sick of a team doing well fairly quickly. It's like Dublin.
That's like Dublin, yeah. So it's the same in any sport. It was Man United for how long? It's Man City now or whoever. So people be sick of the Irish rugby team if they don't stop winning. You know, this kind of thing. So it's the same with Limerick at the moment. It was the same with Kilkenny a few years ago. When you're at the top, everybody wants to beat you, but I'd probably rather be at the top than be chasing at the same time. But it's going to be a good championship, I think, and I think there will be one or two surprises along the way.
What about Galway? How do you think they'll do?
I'd be hopeful, a little bit worried about this weekend. Same kind of thing. Wexford probably, in fairness, missing a lot of players during the league, and I don't think it's a true reflection on what they can produce. So I'm a little bit worried that there could be a bit of an ambush at the weekend. I'm hopeful there's not, but if there's a slippery game, it's going to be this one, because Galway are expected to win, and there's no point in saying otherwise. But
Galway are
so if they're off a little bit and Wexford come with everything they have, it could be in for a tough day at the office. But I'm hopeful mentally they're Galway ready for it.
How do you feel that Henry Shefflin has done so far?
I think he's done well, and like, it's always tough coming into a different county. Like the league, I think he's done what he needed to do out of it. Get a few more players, has a stronger panel probably this year than probably last year. I think there's loads of guys pushing for positions, especially in the forwards. I think he's found one or two forwards that hopefully will bring that into championship, and hopefully he'll have all the guys back. I know Davy Burke is missing, but I think they've nearly a full clean bill of health, and it's all about staying injury free for a lot of teams that are chasing Limerick. If you're down one or two, it's a massive blow. Whereas Limerick seem to have probably their best panel now at the moment. So 1 or 2 missing for them isn't the same as, let's say, 1 or 2 missing for Galway or Kilkenny or that. I'm very hopeful that they do the business. Yeah.
Would you like to play under Henry?
Oh yeah.
When he announced that he was coming in,
yeah.
you had just retired. Was it going through your mind at that point?
Yeah.
I'll go back.
Yeah, I was out for dinner, and I literally said, "Jeez, might go back." But then I was like, realistically, no, I'm not able. So I was like, completely in my mind. Yeah, I would have loved it. I'm just sorry he wasn't there probably 2 years ago or whatever before that, or a year before that. And that's no disrespect to Shane O'Neill or anything like that. This is just me personally. I would have loved to work with Henry Shefflin, obviously. But yeah, it was too late for me, unfortunately. But I think the guys are enjoying it, any of the lads that are there, so it's a good place to be at the moment.
I'll learn a hell of a lot from Henry.
For sure. Yeah.
Brilliant, Joe. Thanks so much.
Cheers. Thank you.